Breaking news: in literally the last few hours, researchers at Oxford University in the UK have actually managed to achieve teleportation.
Let's freaking go, y'all. Welcome back to Unreal Reality, guys. Today, we're going to take a look at some creepy TikToks you can't turn away from. If y'all are new here, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button so this video gets recommended to others. And with that out of the way, let's jump right into it, y'all.
Mr. Armstrong, Bart Sibrel, ABC Digital. Wanted to give you the opportunity to swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon. Will you put your left hand on the Bible and swear to God that you walked on the moon?
Gentlemen. Mr. Cyborg.
Yes? If you really walked on the moon, why would you not do that? So why don't you just put the end to the record in the argument and put your hand on the Bible, swear to God you walked on the moon?
Mr. Cyborg, knowing you, that's probably a fake Bible.
Really? Well, no, it's a real Bible. You have the opportunity to have $5,000.
The meeting is not open.
Well, you have $5,000 cash. You can give it to charity if you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon.
Please,
I have the tape.
Sure. It'd be fine.
Why don't you swear to... Why not? Why won't you do it? So why don't you put your hand on the Bible and swear to God that you walked on the moon?
Mr. Cyborg has made a fool of himself in front of the world. Mr. Cyborg, you do not deserve answers.
I really don't know what's creepier, this right here, or the fact that NASA's claiming to have lost the technology that's needed to go back.
Here's why you have never seen a frozen flood before, and why we saw it happen this week in Detroit. Eerie videos posted online show entire neighborhoods in southwest Detroit completely frozen over. Cars were trapped under thick layers of ice, with some frozen solid inside and out. And in some homes, basements were buried under 5 feet of frozen floodwater. So how the hell did this happen? Because normally, floods don't freeze, because for it to rain, air temperatures need to be above freezing. Otherwise, it would just be snow. And if it's warm enough to flood, then it's usually too warm for the water to freeze immediately. And luckily, Detroit didn't break any laws of nature, because these floods happened without a single drop of rain. At 2 a.m. on Monday, a 54-inch water main from the 1930s ruptured, sending torrents of water onto the streets. And because the temperatures were around minus 17 degrees Celsius, the water rapidly froze, leaving us with some of the strangest scenes we've seen in a while.
At least when it snows, you can dig yourself out with a shovel, but I'm pretty sure the only thing saving you in this case is maybe a blowtorch.
Oh my goodness, this is one of the wildest things I have seen, and this is not your average robot. This is the Clone Alpha by Clone Robotics, and this contains all 206 bones that the human body contains, and they are fully articulated with artificial ligaments and connective tissues. Now, they're very high on the hand function of these robots. I'm going to show you the raw clip in a second, but just listen to this. The hand functions with human-level thumbs, surgical precision, a trigger finger, and it is compatible with human tools. And it's not going to walk like other robots. It says, finally, a robot that walks naturally. And it says, do it once and the clone will do it forever. They have a telekinesis training platform. I don't even know how that's possible. This technology is absolutely insane. I guess you can reserve one of these things this year in 2025, but just check out the raw clip and the music that they used.
I'm not certain, but I'm pretty sure those humanoid-like robots all cost at least $100K. I can only imagine what something like this is gonna set you back.
It is our first large mass stranding of these animals in around 50 years. To try and refloat the animals directly back into that surf would be challenging, and then of course that would also present some enormous safety risks for our staff and personnel.
I mean, first the doomsday oarfish, and now this? Let's just hope it's one big coincidence and not something a little more sinister in nature.
And the record topper, there is one person on Social Security who's 360 years old, which is approximately 110 years older than our country.
I was getting ready to say someone probably tied a string around that poor cat's tail and yanked at it. But that terrified reaction on the cat's face tells me an entirely different story, y'all.
Something is up with these street cats. Check this out. Yo, look at him. He's not moving. He's not moving, guys. What is up with this cat? He froze. Is he rebooting? Guys, I don't know what's going on here. I need you to let me know. What is up with this cat? Yo, I don't understand. His tail's moving though. What the Yo, he got company now. Look, Oliver and company. This is ridiculous, guys. Even he knows something's wrong. Look at him. What the? Nah, don't tell me he froze too. Guys, is anybody missing a cat out there? What the world? What is going on in the Matrix, guys? Cats are just stopping in the middle of the street. Everybody around the cat is like, what's up with this cat? They stopped and they don't understand what's going on. Neither do I, do you? Could that be a CL cat glitching in the Matrix? This video is for entertainment purposes only. I don't know what's going on with that cat, but his friend seemed to pull up and everything seems to be fine now. Check your cats, guys. Check your cats. I told you, CL cats. Remember that video I showed you a long time ago? Shh, shut up. Matter of fact, let me go check on my cat. I gotta go.
I was always told growing up that cats have the ability to slip in and out of our world and the spiritual world. Maybe these guys just got stuck in between the two.
This security camera captured something strange. A tiny winged figure zooms past, leaving everyone asking, what was that? The video quickly exploded, gaining millions of views and sparking a huge debate. Some viewers were convinced, that's a fairy, I've seen one before. Others thought it was something more ordinary, saying it's just a moth with cobwebs or one of those flying fairy toys. But then, things got even weirder. When slowed down, people claimed to hear a faint voice whispering, "It's okay now." This left many wondering, was it just background noise or something else entirely? Could this really be proof of fairies or just a well-timed illusion? To make things even stranger, eagle-eyed viewers noticed something most people missed. A second tiny figure darting into the house just before the first one disappears. Some believe it's another fairy, while skeptics argue it's just a trick of the light. But here's where it gets creepy. Multiple people claim they've captured similar flying figures in different parts of the world. Could this be a real phenomenon or just a case of mass hysteria? Whether you believe in fairies or not, this video leaves us with one big question. What did we really just see?
And this is exactly why we need labels on anything generated artificially, guys. In today's day and age with AI and editing software, it's almost impossible to tell the difference between something that's created artificially from something that might actually be reality.
Yeah, the odds of this asteroid hitting us are now 1 in 32, which is the highest any asteroid has been. Asteroid 2024 YR4 is between 130 to 300 feet, or 16 giraffes, and is expected to reach us December 22nd, 2032. This red line is made up of 500 different points the asteroid could show up. Now, to be fair, this isn't a world ender, but if it did hit land, it could be the equivalent of a 10 megaton bomb, which would destroy a city. But composition matters. If it's mostly rocky instead of metal, a lot of it could burn up in the atmosphere. The Tunguska event in 1908 was a similar asteroid. It flattened about 2 New York Cities worth of forests, but it being rocky in composition meant that the damage was minimal, all things considered. The angle also matters. If it hits straight down, it will cause more damage. A gradual angle, and it could explode in the air, which would produce a shockwave that shattered glass and damaged buildings, but not flatten them. If it hit water instead of land, experts at NASA say, if the 130-foot size estimates are correct, this won't cause that big of a tsunami. If the 300-foot estimates are correct, it's more likely to hit straight down, and that might suck a lot. Currently, the asteroid is moving away from us because it's on an elongated path, so we probably won't learn that much more about it until it starts swooping back again in 3 years. Till then, we're all just gonna forget about it.
This clip got me scratching my head on whether or not Don't Look Up was really just a movie. Because where I'm sitting, it's feeling like it was more of a plan.
If everything goes smoothly, I'm gonna watch a car fly over another car.
You can actually use it today, and you can cut your commute at least in half, if not more. Jim Duchovny says his company Aleph Aeronautics was able to create something we've been dreaming about since the Jetsons. And while not quite ready for the road, Duchovny says the flying car is about to take off. NBC News was given exclusive access to see their concept model with our own eyes. Sure enough, we watched it soar through the air over another car and land. But for all the magic of this moment, we were heavily restricted, forced to shoot at least half a football field away, and we never actually saw the driver entering or exiting the vehicle.
We still have some IP, intellectual property, which we're trying to protect.
But practicality might be where the rubber meets the sky.
It's going to be slow, incremental approach, which is good for legal integration, which is good for consumer integration.
But he says, as demand grows, regulations will catch up with the tech.
Yeah, they look cool, but there's definitely something super fishy with them having to film it from so far away. Maybe it's because they're not actually flying cars, but really drones with car bodies just attached to them.
This is a cool one. Looks like a mint container, right?
What is this, Ryan?
So that is an ESP32 that has the ability to replicate network names and shut down devices on Wi-Fi networks. So let's say I wanted to disable your Ring cameras and all of your iPhones in your house. I could plug that thing into this power brick over here and just start dropping people off the network. For example, I walk up to your house and I de-authenticate your Ring cameras. There is no evidence I ever was at your house, and there's no local storage on that device that will have a recording of me being at your house. So just that little thing alone right there would make me essentially a ghost when it came to your cameras.
I find it incredibly terrifying and extremely worrisome how just one small tiny computer and internet connection can cause so much damage and destruction, y'all.
I'm gonna show you something right quick with the word planet, and they put it right in front of your face, and nobody has taught you this. I can guarantee you this 100%. And if somebody take this, you already know where this came from first. So you already know they jocking. And we ain't gonna trip about it because you already know how they ride the wave. Plane. You know what a plane is, right? Plane, not the one that you fly. Plane, infinite plane. Or what you wanna call the zone, the realm. And then the T, right? Plane, terrarium. And I'm gonna show you what a terrarium look like if you don't know. Plain terrarium. Excuse my M, because I'm a handicap in this hand too. Plain terrarium, right in front of your flesh. So they done told you a whole damn lie about what we living on, and y'all don't get it, man. The source is in front of your face. God gives me these downloads, and I put it right out here to you, just like that. I've been up thinking so long, and this is what I came with. Right here, right in my face, right in your face the whole time. Stop playing with me, man. And here's the terrarium. Remember, common sense in the sermon never falls from trees, nor does it grow from one. Stand on business when you stand on business like I do, man. Because it's right in front of your face. They told you the truth right in front of your face, but lied at the same time.
How about new?
One of the first original public clones was Michael Jackson.
What?
Yes. So if you take a look at Michael Jackson, right? Oh, he had plastic surgery. This is why they're making plastic surgery really popular, quote unquote, because they can basically deduce, oh, the celebrity had plastic surgery. It's not a clone, it's plastic surgery. That's why they look different, right? So Michael Jackson was their first sort of test run for cloning, and specifically the reason why they replaced him with a clone was because he was saying too much.
When I tried to look into this whole Michael Jackson clone conspiracy theory, all I got back was stories on this guy called Dave. Who knows, guys? Maybe the king of pop is still alive out there somewhere.
Hey everybody, so we've got airports shutting down, pilots reporting mysterious glowing objects and radar signals vanishing into thin air. This is all happening in Turkey. They've been experiencing some bizarre UAP encounters lately. So check this out. Flights at Sabiha Gökçen Airport, sorry if I butchered that, in Istanbul were disrupted due to pilots reporting unidentified objects on their radar systems. These anomalies even triggered collision avoidance warnings, prompting extensive but inconclusive searches by authorities. Also, in a separate incident, a pilot near Gaziantep Airport, again, sorry if I butchered it, spotted a bright glowing object in the sky that wasn't visible on the radar. This sighting led to a temporary shutdown of the whole airport and a massive search operation, but the object vanished without a trace. So while some are speculating these events obviously could be due to drone activity or atmospheric phenomena, no definitive explanations have been provided as of yet, and authorities continue to investigate to ensure aviation safety. Stay tuned for any updates. If I get some, I'll let you know.
I don't know, guys. At this point, I'm kind of hoping it is Project Bluebeam, and definitely not something a little more devious in nature, guys.
The airplane lady.
Those people aren't real?
Yeah. No one's been able to track her down, right?
No.
She just popped up this past week on TMZ.
It's basically her just saying, I apologize, I shouldn't have done that. When I saw it, I was like, that doesn't look like her. We didn't know who she was for the first couple weeks. Like, they couldn't even find a name or anything. She started a new Twitter account when she posted this video. The first person she followed was TMZ. So people started doing like some AI face detection. There's this guy that does it online professionally, and he says you get a score of 0.6 or below, it is the same person. He put the videos that were on the plane, videos that were outside the plane of the real Tiffany.
And it's not her.
1.2. Guys, like, I was not expecting this. I was like, actually, he's
Wow.
like, this makes me really interested.
Wow.
Then one other dude goes on and checks her IP address that she sent out from the video. Okay. Guess where it tracked to?
TMZ headquarters.
Texas. Away from the White House in Washington, D.C.
Stop it right now!
So did she see something, and then they put in a double to be like, this was so embarrassing.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, I'm no detective or CSI forensic analyst, but one thing that's for certain, that is 100% not the lady that was on the plane that day, y'all.
I don't know, man.
Scientists just discovered a new planet, and it's a super Earth. This is a planet that's bigger than Earth, but smaller than Neptune, and it's rocky, which means you can stand on the surface like Earth, unlike Jupiter. The planet has a long name. It's HD 20794d, and it's about 6 times the mass of Earth, and it's only 20 light years away. This planet orbits its star in a region called the habitable zone, which is where the temperature is good for liquid water on its surface, and that means also it has the potential for life. However, this planet's orbit is highly elliptical, so it's actually only in the habitable zone for part of its year. So this is also a really cool opportunity to figure out how moving in and out of the habitable zone affects its climate and its ability to have water. But scientists have cataloged thousands of exoplanets in the Milky Way, and this one isn't even the coolest or the closest. There are actually 11 super Earths closer to us than this planet. And that's just what we know. I mean, there are billions of planets just in the Milky Way that we don't even know about yet. But this is very cool, and I'm excited to learn more.
She really said 20 light years as if it's a hop, skip, and jump away. I want to know more about these super Earths, y'all.
A supercomputer has determined when humanity will go extinct, and a date has already been pinpointed. I'll walk you through how this was done, but that date is going to come a lot earlier than that. The first thing you have to know is that 99.99% of all species that have ever existed on Earth have already gone extinct. The extinction rate has increased to about 10,000 times the normal natural extinction rate in the last 100 years. A lot of that is just because humans are incredibly destructive creatures. We are destructive even to ourselves. They claim 250 million years. That will be the point at which the continents will come together and turn into the next Pangea. At that point, the world will be inhospitable to mammals as we know them. We'll see consistent temperatures that are going to be around 120 plus degrees year-round. Now that does kind of just seem like an average day in Australia. But it's very unlikely humans would live for 250 million years, and here's why. If we're going to be more honest about it, the average species lifespan is about 1 million years on Earth. It can be longer, like 10 million if you're an insect, but it varies. That means that humans are already running out of time. We have a little bit of a boost to maintain our humanity. Because there have been so many severe bottlenecks, we're all relatively closely related. However, there are different ways that a species can go out. They can evolve into something new. Or perhaps the more likely answer to how we will go out is that we will burn ourselves out. We can't seem to get our shit together as humans, to be honest. So we may fight each other, we may see an end from something a little bit more mundane. If our populations become fragmented and our technology does not allow for the kind of travel that we have today, we may end up being quite literally blown back to the Stone Age. That would give us the same separation of populations that allowed things like Denisovians and Neanderthals to exist as separate from humans.
So far, it seems as all these supercomputers are more evil and harmful than helpful and handy. Not to mention, I think I'd be shocked if we made it 250 years from here, much less 250 million years from here.
We now have proof that teleportation can happen, and they just did it. Some of the biggest things people wonder is time travel possible? Is teleportation possible? I mean, imagine if you could teleport. I already know what some of y'all would be doing. Breaking news: in literally the last few hours, researchers at Oxford University in the UK have actually managed to achieve teleportation. The way they've done this is actually through a quantum supercomputer, which brings the era of quantum computing and some crazy stuff right now. What they did was manage to teleport a large amount of data from one place to another rapidly, like I'm talking instant. It's very complicated how they did this in the sort of technical terms and probably won't make any sense to you, but the dumbed down version is they managed to teleport a mass piece of data from one place to another instantly. Of course, we're still a way off from being able to physically teleport ourselves to another location, but because of this finding, it is genuinely possible, which is mad to even say. We might not be there yet, but we are definitely a step closer now, and it could actually happen in the next few years. More is going to come out about this, a lot more research, so as always, I'll keep you posted.
You can call me crazy, but it seems a bit of a far stretch to compare teleportation to essentially just sending an email.
Imagine if someone asked you to map out a house, but they specifically pointed to one door and told you that you're not allowed to go through that door and there's no other ways around it. Behind this door could be a simple closet, a room, or possibly even a catwalk leading to an entirely separate building. The point is that you won't actually be able to map out the entirety of the house until you have access to that door and explore what's behind it. Well, this is exactly how a growing number of people think in regards to the size, structure, and shape of our world, with the hidden or unexplored door being Antarctica. For those of you who may not know, a theory has been growing that Antarctica isn't simply a continent at the bottom of our world, but instead an ice wall that encompasses all the continents that we live on. Not only have people drawn maps on how they believe Antarctica encompasses our 6 continents, they've taken it a step further in stating that there's other continents and even civilizations that exist beyond this ice wall. Now obviously this is just a theory and there's no hard evidence behind it, but there are pieces of information that may defend this argument a bit.
With all the craziness and insanity happening in the world right now, I don't think my brain could handle nor process beyond the ice wall or right now at this present time.
It's crazy to me that people believe in Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and invisible things powering our whole lives, but we think energy, vibration, and frequency, and all the things that come with it are still mystical nonsense. Why have we not caught up?
So now you're telling me that cyborg cockroaches, insects, and other little critters are a thing? Oh, and if that's not interesting enough, they've already been beta tested and they're ready to go on missions? I'm sorry, what in the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 did I just find out today? Because yes, scientists at the Osaka University in Japan, can I just say this? Japan clearly isn't a country anymore. They're just butter because they are on a roll dropping bombshell technological advancements these days. But yes, so the lead scientist at the Osaka University, and I'm not even going to try to say his name because I will say it incorrectly, has said that they've developed these cyborg insects to basically do search and rescue missions. That the intent is for these little critters to have these electronic devices that send signals and can allow them to navigate different things that a human being couldn't go, more specifically in disaster sites. And we certainly do have a lot of disaster sites all over the world right now. But yes, but that also leads to the question, what are the ethics in this? Because these little creatures now have the ability to go into buildings, infrastructures through pipes, through ventilation, any place that a human couldn't go themselves. So that leads to the question, what should they be allowed to do and what shouldn't they be allowed to do? Oh, and if that's not cool enough, so one of the reasons by using these small little creatures is because they use less oxygen. And the initial plan is to also have cyborg creatures that use no oxygen that can search the ocean. Go figure. Now, anything we talk about is for entertainment, learning, conversation, and education purposes only. But I want to know what you think. Have you heard about cyborg insects and critters? And what do you think about them? Because I didn't have that on my card. But I want to know what you think, so drop it in the comments today. Cyborg.
I hate to say it, but we are literally creating our next enemy of war right now. Before we know it, our homes, schools, streets, and skies will be flooded with drones and robots. Let's just hope and pray there's no malicious hacks before it's too late, y'all.
So around the world, they're discovering these Roman era mosaics underground. This one's in Italy, but then in other places of the world, they're finding them too. This one's in Croatia. I believe it's Croatia. I mean, they're underground. They built buildings and stuff on top of this. I think this is London. There's more. Like just in the city, they're just underground. And look at the detail of it. And the more they dig, the more they find them. How long does it take to lay these tiles? Like in Turkey here, even right on the water, even under the water, they're there. Does that say something about sea level, I guess? Climate change, or that won't be climate change. Well, whatever you think. Then in Syria too. So they're scattered around. I mean, and these are like Roman era tiles. They're pretty cool design. In Morocco, this one's detailed. And this one is deep.
I hate to break it to y'all and be the bearer of bad news, but these aren't new things. They're not just finally discovering these things. They're just finally telling us about them. You know, they're allowing us to be in the know. Huge difference between the two, y'all.
The sun is in front of and behind the clouds, and now it just disappeared into the clouds. Let's see what happens here if we can. This is not very safe. But look, clouds in front, clouds behind. 93 million miles away, guys. Clouds in front, clouds behind. 93 million miles away. Isn't that awesome? Look at that. Oh my God.
I'm just going to come right out. I have no idea what's going on at all.
You feel like having your mind blown? If not, favorite this video, come back later. But if so, we're about to talk about something wild. What if I told you that everything you see, touch, and experience isn't actually real? At least, not in the way that you think. Scientists believe reality might be more like a hallucination, something your brain creates. And quantum physics might actually back this up. So, your brain isn't just seeing the world. It's actually predicting it. Neuroscience shows that what you experience isn't raw reality, but it's your brain's best guess based on electrical signals and past experiences. So, in other words, what you call reality is just your mind's version of it. And here's where it gets even weirder. Quantum physics suggests that reality doesn't actually exist in a fixed state until we observe it. There's a famous experiment called the double slit experiment. It proves that particles act like waves until we look at it. And the second we observe them, they choose a definite form. So what's that mean? Well, the act of looking might literally be creating the reality, kind of like a dream that only forms when you enter it. Now, if everything we see is just a mental construction, and if quantum mechanics suggests that the universe renders based on observation, some physicists believe that we might be living in a simulation. I know you've heard that. So think about that. What if our reality is coded, like a video game almost, and it only renders what's needed when someone is looking? So if reality is just a projection and the universe only exists When we observe it, what does that mean for free will? Are we creating reality or just experiencing an illusion? Let me know what you think about that, because this kind of changes everything.
And this is exactly why I am such a huge believer in manifesting what you want and like thinking things into existence. The power of positive thinking is unlike any other in this world.
How many guys know that Stranger Things is a documentary, right? By a sign of likes or hearts or whatever. Especially season 1. You know this is a documentary, right? Like, you know how many government secrets are literally released in this TV show? I'm talking specifically about this one right here. Ever heard of it? Well, you can check it all out on Wikipedia. It's all there. Plus, you don't want to miss the bottom of the article on Wikipedia. And last but not least, on the CIA government official website, according to the Freedom of Information Act, there is a giant bunch of information you can scroll and read forever and zoom in that's all about what happened during these experiments. And you should do yourself a favor, bookmark this video and go into this rabbit hole and ask yourself,
I'll tell you what, it damn sure wouldn't surprise me, guys. Hollywood does have a funny way of always showing us exactly what shadiness they're up to. That's all I got this week, y'all. Leave us a comment, let us know your thoughts, smash that like and subscribe button, and we will see you all on the next one.